First, we're not going back. That's the focus of tonight's angle. We all know that, God, thank you so much, Trump missed a bullet at Butler. But now we know without a doubt that America missed a bullet when he beat Kamala Harris. It was appropriate that her first big speech since blowing it was in San Francisco, a monument to liberal failure. This is such an embarrassment. And the Democrats who have real power, they know it too. But they don't care. The Kamala show never got good reviews. Going back to the 2020 primary, they all knew she was always a problem, never a solution. And the words written in the liberal Atlantic ring as true today as they did in the fall of 2023. Ease and confidence have not been the prevailing themes of Harris's vice presidency. Her first year on the job was defined by rhetorical blunders, staff turnover, political missteps, and a poor sense among even her allies of what exactly constituted her portfolio. Within months of taking office, President Joe Biden was forced to confront a public perception that Harris didn't measure up. And she never did, including last night.
The American people deserve leaders who make their lives better and make our country stronger. But sadly, we have seen quite the opposite over these past few months.
Crickets. But she kept on, mightily trying to recapture her fleeting political moment from last August when she described the pace of Trump's agenda.
What we are in fact witnessing is a high-velocity event where a vessel is being used for the swift implementation of an agenda that has been decades in the making. An agenda to slash public education, an agenda to shrink government and then privatize its services, all while giving tax breaks to the wealthiest among us.
Now, mind you, this was her crowd. They paid to be there, and they didn't exactly give her a hero's welcome. Again, the Kamala problem. Nothing she said was really landing. I watched the entire thing, and then she started talking about animal videos.
Who saw that video from a couple of weeks ago, the one of the elephants at the San Diego Zoo during the earthquake? Google it if you've not seen it. So that scene has been on my mind. And as soon as they felt the earth shaking beneath their feet, they got in a circle and stood next to each other to protect the most vulnerable. Think about it. What a powerful metaphor. Because we know those who try to incite fear are most effective when they divide and conquer, when they separate the herd. But in the face of crisis, the lesson is don't scatter.
Okay. Unheard. Now, if we want to keep that strained metaphor going, that's Kamala being trampled by her own incompetence, or maybe bad writers. First of all, elephants protect their young, and her party's policies endanger our young from womb to tomb. First, abortion on demand, they might not even survive. Then, terrible schools, teachers' unions. Then, dangerous streets, bad, permissive on crime policies. Trans surgeries, pot legalization. Then, when the kids grow up, they can look forward to offshore jobs, communities with more criminal aliens, more drugs from open borders, and flatlining wages. Harris's party, they thrive off of dividing the American herd, our nation, by race, sex, ethnicity, country of origin, into classes of victims instead of patriots. Remember, that's what DEI is all about. Plus, it didn't matter how bad, though, Harris was last night or as a candidate in 2024. Forget the animal analogies. Remember, the candidates don't even matter to the Democrats anymore. They were willing to keep, the weekend at Biden's presidency going as long as possible. They only stopped it when he just flatlined in the debate. But they thought the country was doing fine when Biden and Mayorkas were flooding the border with millions of illegals. They only slowed that down for political reasons when the polls were so bad. And they were fine, frankly, with inflation, and they loved high gas prices. And they loved showering Zelensky with borrowed money, even when Ukraine wasn't winning. So none of the challenges, the real challenges facing America, which they either caused or exacerbated, none of it mattered to them. So no one should be surprised that Harris goes out last night still thinking that, yes, she has a shot. All the party wanted in 2020 with Biden and 2024 with Biden and then Harris was a figurehead president who'll do whatever the permanent bureaucracy wants. And that's what they're going to push in 2028, too. So, of course, with the other 2028 prospects, expect mostly vibes, little substance.
I miss Obama, and I miss her husband, too.
I will build this world from love.
I will build this world from love.
All vibes, all stunts, no substance. And who can forget his pointless filibuster?
I don't want a Disneyfication of our history. We're marching through 13 hours. I got more in the tank.
They're all Kamala Harris now, and that's the angle.
Thank you. I respect a crowd that recognizes talent. Happy Thursday, everyone. So speaking to Democrats in San Francisco last night, Kamala Harris criticized the Trump agenda, and she urged Democrats to band together to find her a designated driver. She also went on a bizarre rant about elephants. Thanks for the shout out, said this herd. You saw it coming. No, I don't want your sympathy applause. Steve Doocy is dead. Tired of getting up in the morning. Co-host Fox and Friends Steve Doocy announced he'll be stepping back from full-time duties and permanently relocating to Florida, which goes to show what people will do to get away from Brian Kilmeade. In the first 3 months of the year, McDonald's global sales have fallen 1%. Experts point to one customer switching to Burger King. White Lotus star Natasha Rothwell has tweeted, "Donald Trump, you are trash," almost 200 times since the election. In her defense, it's her only form of exercise. A recent study found that 95% of single women want to be approached more in public. "Well, your wish is my command," said one man. According to the New York Post, Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend's mother manages a sex shop in Massachusetts. This checks out since her daughter has Bill's nuts in a vice. Don't knock it till you try it. Oh, here we go. Archaeologists located a 1-inch penis pendant In the United Kingdom, they clarified it was from the Roman Empire, not Jesse Waters' urologist. You don't know how hard it was to get that picture.
Well, it's blurred. We'll never know.
Yes. Chris Van Hollen is fuming that El Salvador prisoner Abrego Garcia is unreachable by his family. True, he usually connects with his wife via right hooks. Yes. And finally, the internet has been debating over whether one silverback gorilla could defeat 100 men. What's not debatable is whether one woman could kill 100 boners. Don't cry. All right. I think I went too far. So while the Dems fume over Trump's 100 days, how about the media's 100? Well, like Don Lemon in hot pants approaching cars at a stoplight, they're up to their same old tricks. The White House released a list of 57 hoaxes pushed by the media and Trump's critics in his first 100 days. For those of you having trouble with math, shout out to girls. It's more than one every 2 days. And they didn't even count the hoaxes when the media claimed that Tim Walz was a man. Now, I won't be able to read all 57, but I know someone who can. Hit it, Ethel.
Fake news CNN tried to fact-check President Trump's claim that Biden's administration meant millions by making mice transgender. Fake news claimed that the DOD removed General Kamala's name from a list of notable Americans buried at Arlington Cemetery. Eric Swalwell claimed no president presided over plane crashes during the first month of office of President Trump. J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Public Schools officials claimed that without any verify that ICE agents conducted a raid in elementary school, a false claim echoed by media outlets, including the Chicago Tribune. Washington Post alleged Trump administration was selling quotas for immigration authorities and gave the administration just 4 minutes to comment before publishing. Online liberal activists claimed President Trump took down President Obama's portrait in the White House. AP falsely claimed Director of National Intelligence told Gallup and President Trump is very good friends with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And finally, student visa holders should have unfettered access to do whatever they want in the United States.
All right. That sound you hear is the closed captioner committing suicide by cop. Now, let's take a look at some of these hoaxes. We'll begin, as all things should, with transgender mice. CNN tried to fact-check Trump for claiming Biden spent millions to perform trans experiments on these rodents. But turns out Trump was right. They really were turning Minnie into Mickey. See that little mustache? Excellent work. Remember the astronauts stuck in space for months? The hacks at NPR stopped calling them stranded once Trump and Musk said they were going to save them. And then they did. Elon got it back so fast he didn't have enough time to impregnate him. Then there's the media trying to claim Trump was the only world leader wearing a blue suit at the Pope's funeral. That was a lie. Reminds me of that story about me wearing a thong at a public pool. It was a G-string. And what of the label Maryland Dad? Yeah, that's like calling the Unabomber a quirky pen pal. Then there's the attacks on Doge. For weeks we heard Doge is cutting Social Security when in reality they twisted Musk's words. He was talking about cutting waste. I haven't seen anything that dishonest since Rachel Levine published her pap smear. I know. I agree with you. I agree with you. Now the media screams that Trump wrongfully deported 3 kids who are U.S. citizens, one of which had cancer. But here's Marco setting the record straight.
3 U.S. citizens, ages 4, 7, and 2, were not deported. Their mothers, who are legally in this country, were deported. The children went with their mothers.
So first they moaned that ICE was separating families, and now they're bitching when they keep them intact. Cue the fat bastard.
Instead of enabling the administration's illegal and unconstitutional mass deportation scheme, we could be holding hearings on why U.S. citizens as young as 2 years old are being deported with no meaningful due process.
Of course, Nadler was upset the kids were gone. He was planning on eating them. So, nothing's changed since Trump walked down the escalator. The hoax are endless. Russiagate, Hunter's laptop, find people on both sides. Joe's as sharp as a tack. The media will repeat lie after lie in service to their masters, the Dems. No wonder Trump treats them with the same respect dogs give hydrants. which means it's time for
Donald Trump. We don't deserve him.
It's true. Here he is, kicking some ABC ass.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst, I have to be honest with you.
Say it with me. We don't deserve him. He wasn't done.
You have 100% confidence in
I don't have
Peter.
100% confidence in anything, okay? Anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
it's a pretty important position.
No. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We don't deserve him. He's right. You shouldn't have 100% confidence in anything, unless it's Joe Biden ruining a seat cushion, but it wouldn't be a Trump interview if you didn't really twist the knife.
Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay.
We don't deserve him. He's such a giver, and they have no choice but to take it. After fomenting fake existential calamities, Trump has exposed them for what they really are, an outdated, self-serving medium that creates their own false truth based on bias and ego. They're an industry marred with hoaxes, inaccuracies, and, of course, leprechauns. So in that interview, it wasn't Trump being graded. Trump doesn't have to prove anything. It's the media which has everything to prove and nothing to show for it. Let's welcome Hannity. Women call him their better half because they take half his stuff. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. I have hate mail. Older than he is, GOP Youth Advisory Council co-chair C.J. Pearson. In her previous life, she was a kilo of cocaine. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. And he's like a nap. Old ladies like to take him in the afternoon. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Tyrus. Jamie, obvious statement, your marriage was a hoax. What do you make of this hoax list?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit unsettled. The producers told me we were missing a graphic for the beginning of your show, and they took me in the back and took a picture of my penis. Let me ask you this, Greg.
Yes.
If there's so much wrong with Trump and he's so bad, why do they have to make stuff up?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why do they have to make stuff up? Like, when we never doctored a video to show Biden falling, he provided us with unlimited footage of him falling.
Yes.
And it's very frustrating that they just do a thing where they take part of the truth. Yeah. Like, yes, it's true that a child did leave the country, but it was because the mother got to choose if they went with him or not. But they just take part. This reminds me of what my ex-wife used to do this. I remember my ex-wife would tell everyone she was monogamous. And yes, it is true, she was sleeping with only one man, but it wasn't me.
It's sad, but it's true, which makes it funny. If it wasn't real, it wouldn't be funny. It would just be a stupid story, but it's real, making it hilarious. CJ, isn't it great that they keep a list? I mean, we've been doing that for a while, but it's nice that the White House has a hoax list.
You know, it's a very long list, and deservedly so. You know, if we're going to define the last 100 days of the Trump administration as being promises made, promises kept, then we ought to define the media's coverage the last 100 days of if they're bumping their gums, they're probably lying. You know, everything from their attempt to gaslight the American people into believing that some El Salvadorian gangbanger is just some docile Maryland man and that we're deporting American children has been a lie. When they show you who they are, believe them the first time. And what we know to be true is that these these people, truly, as President Trump has said, are the enemy of the people.
I love the phrase bumping gums. That's like a date night at the Villages.
It's where I spend my summers, Greg. So.
I kid the Villages. They're my biggest fans. Emily, thank you for doing that little thing and reading through the list. Did you learn anything while doing that?
I was thinking about that. It was like I didn't retain anything other than the first one, a couple in the middle, and then the end.
Yes.
So the mice and stuff. By the way,
you could definitely do the side effects stuff for drug commercials.
Yeah.
Yes, because we didn't speed up that footage. That was me in real time.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that.
Should we clap?
All right.
So here's what I was thinking. It goes to your point about how they are making up stuff. The thing is that the media cuts away from anything President Trump is doing always. So take today, when he had an entire speech at the Rose Garden, it was National Prayer Day, they cut away within 2 seconds and started having analysts on not talking about it. So the reason that they can create these hoaxes and then further it amongst themselves only is because they've never even covered the truth. There's absolutely no material for them to draw from because they refuse to cover the president, like we talked about at the dinner, where it was as if President Trump didn't exist. And I love his 100% point of view because it's the point of view of a man who was almost assassinated and had a bullet clip his ear. He's like, you can never be 100% sure of the next breath in your life. And bravo for him cutting down the representative, the meek, tiny, unnameless representative of that entire estate that has tried to dismantle him since day one.
The unnameless. I think I know what you mean by that.
I made it up.
I know you did. You know, Tyrus, the analogy I keep thinking of, the media is a guy with no bullets in his gun who keeps firing at you. It's like they keep thinking these things are going to work, but the bullets, there's none.
They have bullets in the gun. They just don't see good.
Yeah.
They just shoot because all their stuff causes damage.
Yeah.
So they're not shooting blanks like I wish I might have been at one point in my life.
Yes. Yes.
What? I used to like to do country western movies. Sick. God.
You're referring to the unfortunate Alec Baldwin experience.
Yes, thank you. Scared me. Shook the life out of me. Speaking of shaking the life out of somebody, what we're finding the longer this goes is that, one, they're not going to change. We talked about a little bit last night. So those of you who tuned in, you'll get it. Those of you who didn't, tough. They're going to continue to just throw things. And what do liars do? Anybody who's had to deal with a liar in your family, in your life, in a relationship, they take one sentence from a truthful statement and they expand on it. And that's what they do. So they always will have something to try to drag out. They'll continue to do this until something sticks. So there's no reason to change. And again, the only criticism I would have to President Trump when it comes to trolling, there's nobody better. But stop calling them fake news. We have to call them what they are. They are the propaganda machine of the enemy within, which is the extreme left. That's who they are. That's who they work for. They work together. So they're not going to change because I guarantee they have meetings going, we only got to wait this out. Once Trump is gone, we're going to be fine. So we'll just keep attacking and attacking. And that's why it's hoaxes. They're point out lies. Now we need to look at everything that was made, that was every claim that was made that was crazy, that was all these things. We need to go back and look at everything now because now we're seeing the connective tissue is the media and the left. They just lie. They just lie and advocate for whatever chaos they can because they have no other choice but to stay this course. So and we need to monitor them constantly.
All right, up next, Kamala puts down the bottle and tells a story.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.